and welcome to another episode of Elevate with C&M Coaching. My name is Maggie. Thank you so much for joining us here today. Now, I want to talk today about something that I actually just got done talking to a dealership owner about, and that is how to put a good follow-up process in place for your business. Now, a lot of times we're working with smaller independent stores. They've got teams of 2, 3, maybe 4 people. And this is one of those issues that I think a lot of stores struggle with. And the main reason that it seems to happen is just for kind of lack of understanding of how a process should work. So what I want to do is kind of walk you through from start to finish the best ways that you can put a good follow-up plan in place so that you can work to execute those things so that we can increase not only our appointment set ratio, but all of our processes together as well. So let's get back to basics. We're going to start by talking about internet leads, and then we'll talk about outbound follow-up calls from inbound unsold customers as well, because these processes work for both. But an internet lead is unique in the way that they are the low-hanging fruit. These are the customers that should have the highest appointment conversion rates for your stores. If you were on our program, we should see your outbound appointment set ratios be 80% or higher minimum, because these are the easiest customers to get in the door. So basically what you want to try to do is first, when you receive that lead, look at the lead. Is it specific, generic, or finance? If it's specific, do I have the car? What else do I have that might be similar, etc.? If it's generic, you don't really have a ton to worry about because it doesn't really matter what vehicle they're interested in. It matters if we can finance them. And if they're financed, then this is even easier. We just got to pick up the phone and call the customer and either go over their answers or ask them some questions to see how we can help them. Now, let's say you call that customer. They put their lead in at 12 o'clock. You call them within the first 15 minutes of receiving the inquiry, and they don't answer. What do? The first thing you should do is always leave a message. Tell them who you are, where you're calling from, and leave them some good bits of information that make them curious enough to actually pick up the phone and call you back. Then hang up and send a text message. I am not a fan of text being your first method of communication. The reason for that is because a significant amount more of rapport can be built over the phone. You can use your personality, your voice inflection, and all of the conversation itself to get the customer excited about coming in, which is significantly harder to do via text. Possible, but harder. So I'm a big fan. Pick up the phone, call first, call within 15 minutes. If there's no answer, leave a message, and then send a text. Now, let's say later that afternoon, that customer has still not called you back. This would be the time that you should pick up the phone and call them again once more before you leave for the day. But do not leave another message. Call, wait till the voicemail picks up, and then hang up. At this point, you've left one message today already with your contact information so they know who you are. Another minimal point here to take a look at is what phone number shows up on your caller ID when you call a cell phone. Does it say the name of the business or does it say unknown? Because if it doesn't say the name of the business, you have a problem. They're not going to answer unknown names with just a phone number. So you definitely want to call your phone company and get that fixed, because they should make it so that all of your outbound lines reflect the name of your company. One more thing that I want to point out here is that you should not hang up until the voicemail has picked up or you have waited at least 45 seconds of ring time. We see a lot of abandoned calls and hang-ups when we do mystery shops, and that's because people are hanging up either under 15 seconds or over 15, but not up to 45, which is when a typical voicemail is going to pick up. Now, what do? You've called. It rang and rang, no one answered, you hear the voicemail, you hang up. Now you want to send an email. This is why email communication is so important. It's free, and it's a great backup way to try to get in touch with the customer. Send them an email. Explain what's happened so far. Have you left them messages? Have you sent them texts? How can they get back in touch with you? Give them a link. Keep them engaged on your website, and give them a great and simple way to contact you back, or let you know when a good time to contact them back would be. You also want to make sure that you're asking a question somewhere in that email to help elicit a response. Now, let's say the customer still doesn't call you back. What do you do now? My advice from this point forward is basically the same whether this was an internet lead or an inbound unsold customer lead. And that is you want to call them and follow up with them for at least the next 2 weeks. Now, that might seem excessive, but statistics show that it can take up to 14 attempts to get in touch with a customer. That can be via phone, via email, or via text, or a combination of them. My advice is to set aside time each day, but not the same time each day. Different times, different days that you're reaching out to customers, and then rotate through your different methods of communication. Because if you call everybody at 10 a.m. every day and they don't answer, what makes you think after 2 weeks of that you're going to get lucky and they're going to answer at 10 a.m. the next day? It's just not going to happen. So the best thing to do is set aside specific times. Maybe on Monday it's 10 a.m., maybe on Tuesday it's 4 p.m., maybe on Wednesday it's noon, maybe on Thursday it's 6, and maybe on Fridays it's 8 or 9 or something like that. And then maybe you rotate your second method of communication every day as well. Maybe if you're going to call them at 6 p.m., when you get in at 9, you send a text. And then if they don't answer, you call it your regular scheduled time later that day at 6 p.m. Maybe you call them at noon, and then if they don't answer at 7 p.m., you send an email. You can structure this rotation so that it's not always a text and a phone call and then an email. You can structure the rotation so that you're using different methods of communication, different times of the day on different days of the week. We need to be communicating with these customers on a consistent basis if we want to get in front of them. I'm not going to lie to you, the first 24 hours are the most critical. And any leads that come in after you close on Saturday are the hardest for you to earn business from when you open back up on Monday, because a significant amount of time has passed over the weekend and they're on to different things at this point. Their focus has shifted. So the quicker you call, the better, and those first 24 hours are essential. Now, I'm going to hit on this point again because this is all part of this. The quicker you call the internet lead, the more likely they are to pick up. So use that to your advantage. Watch those response times at your BDCs and with your sales teams to make sure that we are hitting that target of 15 minutes. We should never go over an hour. At that point, they're at another store with their pay stubs ready to buy. So we have to move quickly. We are impatient customers and people and human beings in general, so you can't just wait around. You have to jump and strike while the iron is hot, as they say. So it's very important that we're doing these follow-up processes. Now, if you're going to send a text message, the first text message might sound something like, "Hi, this is Maggie from C&M Coaching. I'm looking for Michelle. I just left you a message. I would really love to touch base with you regarding your finance application. If you could give me a call back at 555-1212, that would be great. Otherwise, what's a good time for us to connect?" Question mark, right? So that's a good text you can send. They know who you are, they know where you're from, they know who the phone number is, and now you're asking a question to attempt to elicit a response. But you'll notice I went for the phone call. I don't want to have to text back and forth. Now, if they text me back and say, "I'm at work, can we text?" Yes, absolutely. I'm going to grab my script and I'm going to convert all that stuff over to text. Now, let's say I have to send an email later that day. I might say something like, "Hey, this is Maggie from C&M Coaching. I hope you're having a great day, Susan. I called you earlier and left a message, and I followed up with a text as well. At this point, I thought perhaps it might be easier for us to communicate via email. For your convenience, I've included a link back to our website so you can check out our inventory or complete an application. When is a good time for us to connect?" Question mark. We are open till 7 p.m. and I would love to have you come on into the store if you're available. Please give me a call. Here's my contact information. Insert complete signature file. So you're always trying to ask a question to elicit a response, and you're trying to include a link in that email to keep it engaging. Don't get too many links in there because then it will trigger spam. Now, you do have to keep this up for a period of time. So how many voicemails can you actually leave that sound the same? Remember that it's okay to say, "I have left you a couple of messages and I haven't heard back from you. Please give me a call. I would love to connect with you." Using words like connect and touch base are great because they help that customer feel that sense of commitment coming from the person leaving the messages. Always be very mindful of your voice inflection as well. And when you're sending emails and text messages, remember to keep them professional. We also want to make sure that there's no spelling or grammar errors in there because they do give everybody a negative impression of us as well. Now let's talk about those inbound calls. So you answer the phone, you take an inbound sales call, you think it's going great, you go for the appointment, and they go, I think I gotta call my husband. I'm gonna have to call you back and let you know when I can come in. Now common sense says, oh sure, they're absolutely gonna call me back. So I'm gonna say yes, but that's not what I would do. Instead, I would go for a tentative appointment and try to set up a backup appointment. Hey, let's go ahead and set up a time. If you check with your husband and it doesn't work, give me a call. I'll find you a better day and time. I've got openings today or tomorrow, which is most likely going to work best for the two of you. Customer says that doesn't work for me. I will call you back. Then you're going to close out your call, give out contact info, grab the email, give directions, and then just let her know you'll follow up with her in a couple of days based on her answer. When it's appropriate, you're going to pick up the phone and you're going to start calling. Now, let's say you call them 3 days later because that's what they told you to do, and they don't answer and you leave a message. You don't always want to say the same thing. You don't want to say, oh, I was calling to see if you checked with your husband, because if she had, she probably would have called back. So the best thing to do would be to leave a message like, hi, this message is for customer. Customer, this is Maggie calling from C&M Motors. We spoke last week. I have some exciting information I'd love to share with you. I will be in the office until 7 p.m. If you could call me back at 877-900-9461, that would be excellent. I would love to connect with you today. Once again, I'll be in the office till 7, and customer, you can reach me at 877-900-9461. If I don't hear back from you by the end of the day today, I'll shoot a text and then I'll try to call you again tomorrow morning. Really looking forward to hearing from you, customer. Have an awesome day, and I'll talk to you real soon. It's great to customize these messages to match what actually happened in your call. But I guarantee you, if this customer talked to any other dealerships, they're all leaving messages, if they're following up, that say, have you had a chance to talk to your husband yet? So you want to think outside the box, be a little bit different, and make sure that you're trying to encourage the customer to call you with new and also exciting information. Now, you don't always have to say exciting information. We've done another podcast on voicemails. Go check that one out. But my point here is that we actually have to do the work and follow up with these customers. They don't necessarily want to pick up the phone to call us. So we have to put the ball in our court to reach out to them. Regardless of what happens in your phone call, remember that it's your responsibility to follow up with the customer, not theirs to follow up with us. They're not the ones trying to sell us something. We're the ones that make the profit from selling them the vehicle. So never forget that your follow-up calls to unsold customers and also internet lead customers are one of the most important parts of your business. And if they're not being handled properly, or worse, not being done at all, the first thing you need to do is look at your internet lead response time and make sure that your people are picking up the phone and calling your customers. And then from there, you want to start building a follow-up plan and process similar to the one that I've explained here. So before I wrap up, I just have a couple of things that I want to go over with you. The first is that I'm going to be speaking at Compliance Unleashed, which is next month, which is almost upon us. That's going to be May 16th through the 18th at the Embassy Suites, and that is going to be at the DFW Airport North. So I will actually be speaking twice. I will be speaking on the 17th in the morning and then again in the afternoon. For those of you who know Coach Paloma, she's going to be with me at that one. So definitely come find us and please make sure that you attend that conference. The next is that I'm going to be speaking at NIADA this year, and I will be speaking at 9 a.m. on Tuesday, June 21st. And just remember that that convention is going to be held at the MGM in Las Vegas, and everybody loves going to Vegas. So make sure that you join us at NIADA. We'll also have a booth so you can stop by and say hi there as well. And I will be in one more place, and that is at TIADA, and that is going to be July 24th through the 26th, and that is at the Kalahari Resort in Round Rock, Texas. We are going to have a booth at TIADA, but I will also be speaking at TIADA, and that is going to be on Monday, July 25th at 11:30 a.m. all of these sessions are going to have different topics, and we're going to be doing different things in each of them, so you do not want to miss them. Please make sure that you come to one of these amazing events and always stop by and say hi. I love to talk to people and meet new people, so come find me. I will be at plenty of places for you to catch me. Thank you guys so much for your time today. I really appreciate you guys listening. Let me know if there's any topics that you want me to cover. I'm an open book, and I will share any information that you feel is beneficial to you and your dealership's success. Just remember that we do offer hosted chat now, so give us a call if you're looking to convert your website traffic into internet leads. You can call us at 877 900 9461. Anyone who answers the phone can help you get your information, and we can send over chat info to you. It's quick and super simple to set up, not to mention, of course, an effective addition to your website. So give us a call right away, and we'll start helping you convert your website traffic into internet leads. Thank you guys. We'll be back next week with a call of the week. Have an awesome weekend, and I'll see you all real soon.